What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Internet podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about always keeping your cool. You got to keep it cool. You got to keep it relaxed. Now, how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you were dealing with a client that was coming at you fucking hot? Or how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where maybe you're running a business in person and you had a contractor coming at you hot? Or how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you're online and you've got somebody in the comments that's coming at you hot, right? And in these instances, in these scenarios, it's like really fucking easy to like lose it and kind of, feel like we need to say something. And so in today's episode, I'm going to give you the framework that I think through that really helps me when people come at me. I'm going to teach you guys what I do and how I stay professional. And hopefully I'm going to give you some of the mistakes that I've made so that you guys don't make the same mistakes, so that you guys can just be fucking awesome and you don't have to do the dumb shit that I did. So when I first started as an online fitness coach, if somebody would like come at me in my comments or like they'd be aggressive towards me in my comments, I would fucking clap back hard. Like I would just like insult them. I would insult their character. I would just like be like, fuck you. Like, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Internet troll. And I'd go back at them in the comments super hard. And then I thought it was really fucking funny when I was doing this. And this was only 2-3 years ago. And when I was doing it, what I actually was doing was I was revealing how I was choosing to show up, because somebody new that came to my page that has no fucking context on who I am as a person or like what I'm about is going to watch my reels. They're going to be like, oh, I fuck with this dude. And then they're going to read the comments and they're going to watch me being a total dickhead in the comments. And then they're going to peace out. And then I had this instance fairly recently where I have like a very small one-on-one client roster. Like we're talking like I have like 5 clients one-on-one. Like I'm very selective with who I take on one-on-one. So just to be clear, I have 5 one-on-one clients. Lane Norton, who's like the fucking top G in the industry, Chloe and Harry, who are working in Australia. I've got Patrick Hong, who's also from Australia. And I've got Matthias, who's from South America. So I've got 4 plus this other one. Out of the 5 clients, Lane Norton, we took him from 30 applications a month to 50 applications a week. Chloe and Harrison are making between $50,000 and $70,000 a month. They were making $25,000 to $30,000 a month. Patrick Hong went from 25K a month to 75K a month. And Matthias, I'm helping him build out a business coaching program in South America. So anyways, the reason I'm giving you this story is because I had a client that was like unhappy with my service. And so I like heard him out and I was like, okay, totally makes sense, blah, blah, blah. We had a call and he was like, it's not exactly what I was hoping for. And I was expecting more. And I was like, totally fair. Like, let's just do a partial refund. Like I've already done a coaching session with you. We'll just do a partial refund, whatever. And then I like opened up my Instagram and I got like these like a series of like aggressive messages, basically attacking my character, calling me a piece of shit, calling me this, calling me that, calling me all these things. And I remember reading these messages and I was like, dude, like I like fucking wrote you a DM script. I wrote you a phone script. I literally fucking spent 45 minutes giving you a custom game plan. You booked a fuckload of calls because of me. I'm like, so like my initial reaction was to like read this and be like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you literally are making more money because of what we talked about. Like, I don't understand. But I realized this late on in my career, like 2-3 years ago. And there's 2 things that I want to talk about in always keeping your cool. When somebody's coming at you hot and attacking your character and calling you a piece of shit and calling you this and calling you that, saying your service suck for whatever fucking reason, okay? We're going to run through a few frameworks. So first things first is I take a look in the mirror. I'm like, okay, what am I responsible for here? And in this instance, I honestly looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what am I responsible for here? I was like, the service wasn't what he expected. So maybe I didn't deliver on the service that I said I was going to. And then I'm like, okay, what did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to provide one-on-one support. I said I was going to provide support. Like any questions he had, I would answer within 24 hours. I'm like, I also said anything he needed, I would give. I'm like, I gave him access to all my coaching programs. I'm like, I gave him access to my portals. I gave him access to my groups. I'm like, what am I responsible for here? I was like, I feel like I did my part. So that's framework number 1 is like, what am I responsible for here and how did I contribute? And that framework is actually how I've leveled up my coaching program immensely, because when I first started doing this framework, what am I responsible for here? I'm like, oh, I took 4 days to get back to him when I was only supposed to take 1. And then when I realized that, I'd be like, okay, I realize that I'm responsible because I take too long to get back to my client. So I'm going to get back faster. Now, if a client messages me, like I don't go longer if you're working one-on-one with me, like I don't go longer than 24 hours without messaging you. It never happens. So I ran through the framework. What am I responsible for here? And because I've been doing this for a long time, I couldn't find anything that I was responsible for here. So I was like, okay, cool. Second thing, I think this is really fucking important. And this is about you and your character. Okay. I had to make a decision on what kind of person I wanted to show up as. So I'm like, what kind of person do I want to show up as in this situation? I'm like, somebody's attacking my character, calling me a piece of shit. I'm like, what kind of person do I want to show up as? I'm like, I want to show up responsible. I'm like, I want to show up with integrity, and I want to show up with a level head. So I'm like, I'm just going to make the decision to show up with a level head. So person that was coming at me was like insulting me, calling me names. And I'm like, dude, I totally understand. I'll just issue you a refund. And I hope you have a nice day. Insulting me, calling me names. And then I just replied, I'm like, I totally get where you're coming from. Like, I hope you have a great day. Insulting me, calling me names. And I'm like, dude, I totally get it. Like, it's all good. Like, I hope you have a great day. I'm like, there's no fucking point. There's no point in me engaging, because I needed to make the decision on what kind of person I'm going to show up as and what my energy and what my frequency is going to be. And this is a hard thing to do when you've got somebody that's coming at you and attacking your character, especially if it's somebody that you let into your circle, which, to be completely honest, I like knew going into it. I'm like, I don't think I should work with this person. But regardless, I did, which is a lesson in itself. Like, you need to be wary. Like, if you get red flags fucking coming into the relationship, you should probably not fucking go into the relationship. But I'm like, I'm going to show up as a responsible person, and I'm going to be super kind and courteous, and I'm going to part ways peacefully, regardless of what my emotions may be saying. Like, no matter what was going on internally, I'm like, I am making the decision on what kind of person I want to be. I've done the work internally. I know who I am. I know what I want to show up as. I know what kind of leader I want to be. I know what I want people to say about me. And I want to know that if somebody looked at this interaction from the outside and they could read all the messages, that they'd be like, Brian was super nice. Person number two was not. Like, I wanted to be very clear. So that's the second thing. The third thing, and this is a rule I follow, and this is one that I highly recommend that you follow as well. Okay. This is a fucking rule that I follow. This is it right here. Okay. Write this fucking down. Never leave a paper trail. Write that down. Never leave a paper trail, which means that, like, when you have somebody that's angry at you, like, I've done this in the past where I've fucked up, and I've had situations where I said something really fucking stupid over DMs because I was angry. And then it always comes back to bite me in the ass. Always. And so 3 years ago, I made the decision. I was like, never, ever, ever say anything that can be screenshotted and blasted. Ever. Never. Not once. And I think that a lot of people really underestimate that idea because, dude, there's fucking social media. So anything you say can be screenshotted. So if you're having a negative interaction with a client or somebody that's unhappy with your service, just make sure that, like, whatever you say, you read it over, you read it twice. If you're in my coaching program, you ask for support. You're like, does this sound good? Is there anything I should take out? Is there anything I should add? Because you never want to have an interaction with a client where you say some dumb shit and then they screenshot it and they blast you. So that is it. That is all. It happens, right? This is the law of average numbers, which basically means the more people that you work with, the more humans that you work with, and human beings are unpredictable. And sometimes human beings are really happy and sometimes they're really upset. And sometimes human beings can be really upset in their own personal life. And then you are just the person that's closest to them. So you are going to get the fucking bunt of the fucking stick. So you just need to make a decision on how you want to show up as a person, especially as a coach that has to deal with a lot of people, because you've got more people that you're responsible for, rather than, just making the decision that you're going to lower your energy because you had a disagreement with one person. So that's it. That's all. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire life. Always keep your fucking cool. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at @TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.